Good morning, everyone. Good morning. We are here, August 12th, 2023. What a great day, right? For those of you tuning in, please let me know if you guys can hear me okay, if the audio is working all right. Make sure you've given StreamYard permission so we can see your comments as they pop up. But yeah, okay, this weekend updates. So, as of August 12th, not a whole lot of new writing has gone on except for Recover the Jackpot. So that is a side story that I wrote within the Scalpel Chronicle universe. So we follow our main character is Sweep, who is a good buddy of mine, good friend. We did a mission with him, and it takes place right before the book Call Sign Bloodbath takes place. So that one is it's a fun story, and I was able to get it over to him where he just said, yeah, dude, this is awesome. Go ahead, press forward. So I'm really excited about that. The side story is really, I think it's fun. Yo, what's up, Richie? Thanks for tuning in, brother. So yeah, so that side story, it's a good one. It's one that Tony blessed off on, and so you guys can read it for free right now, actually. Within the Warrior Publishing group. So the Warrior Publishing Facebook group, excuse me. When I first started out, I didn't realize that once I made a page, I couldn't change the name of it or reconvert it over if I wanted to later. And so now we have the Dying Breed series page, which you'll see Keonis and I both using. But with the group, we can rename it. We can, modify it as we need to. So that's where I made a Dying Breed series group a long time ago to make sure I had it first before the book ever took off. But then we rebranded it into Warrior Publishing. That way, both Keonis and I can use it, but we can also put more content for the other books in there as well. Awesome. Well, dude, I hope you have a great work day. Yeah, it's just you and I right now hanging out. So, but I think this weekend update is going to be pretty short, so I'm not too worried about it. But thanks for stopping in, brother. So yeah, guys, so you can go into the Warrior Publishing group on Facebook. You can read it there. But the other exciting news also is that story was submitted to Anvil Magazine, which is a brand new publication that has been started through this movement of indie creators called the community that they use the term Iron Age. So really excited about that. That submission has already been in for consideration. So if it comes out, it should be the winter issue, I believe. So that'll be fun. Yeah, so, okay. So then let's see what other updates. So I'm 1/3 of the way through. Richie, sending all the love and good vibes your way. Can't wait to read your new book. Thanks, man. I really appreciate that. So I am 1/3 of the way through my another past revision of Call Sign Bloodbath. Just wanting to make sure I cut out as much fat as we can that's not needed, give you guys some good content. It is the longest story that I have written so far, the longest book, I should say, that I've written so far. So I'm 1/3 of the way through that. And the goal right now is that August 16th, it will be available on my Patreon. And then August 23rd, we'll be publishing it on Royal Road. So that is the next announcement, which I can get the banner scrolling here. I do now have a Patreon that's set up and it's active for those of you who want to go and support there. The thing with my Patreon too is I'm telling obviously my direct audience now. I'll be sending it out in the newsletter, posting it on my Facebook pages as well. There's different tiers that you can sign up for and support. But the reason why I wanted to let you all know is when I release the story Call Sign Bloodbath on the 23rd, I know a lot of authors within the lit RPG space can usually see a good influx of supporters on Patreon. So the reason I want to let you guys know now is if you want to come in and sign up, you can, and you can support me that way. The other great thing about this is, I'm submitting or releasing Call Sign Bloodbath on Royal Road. But when you sign up for my Patreon, if you have not yet read the Dying Breed series, you will have access to book 1, 2. In the Dying Breed that are published, you'll have access to book 3, which is going to our editor in October. and you'll have up to 70,000 words in book 4. So when you sign up for the Patreon, you'll actually have 2 different series, 5 different books that you can really dive into and enjoy. I just know that some people are kind of not used to the web novel experience, so that may be a little weird, but that's at least one way that you can support, and you can get access to a bunch of reading material if you like. So there's that. The Patreon web link is scrolling down at the bottom there. So if you guys want to sign up, can. And then, of course, all of our followers on social media, I'll be posting there as well soon. So you can sign up that way. All right. Let's see. What else do we have? There's nothing new on the audiobook front. I know Tom is working away. We just haven't finished any chapters yet, or he hasn't uploaded any new chapters for me to review. So we're still just plugging away on that one. And then let's see here. Okay. Natural reader tool. So let's kind of shift away from what writing I've actually gotten done, and let's talk about a tool set for young authors or just even experienced authors that want to know of a new tool that they can utilize. So I will actually, let me share my screen so you guys can see what it looks like. But this was actually shared with me by one of my readers and supporters many months ago. This is naturalreader.com. Now, this website, you can also download it onto your desktop and use it that way. But as you can see here, I have some text. This is some text from the story. FYI, it is military man-child rated, so there is a good amount of profanity. And I actually have an audio clip here that I'll play for us so you can actually hear it. But what Natural Reader allows you to do is you can copy and paste text into the document. You can add files and literally, whether it's a text, an image, a web page, whatever you want, you can add it this way. And then as you have a library, right, it'll upload it for you. But what this allows you to do is you hit the play button and you have different choices of AI voices that you can listen to. Now, granted, there's the plus, there's the premium, and then there's the natural free versions. The natural free versions are very similar to Microsoft Word, which I've talked about before. So, you can, if you're writing in Microsoft Word, you can go into narration, and Microsoft Word has like 2 different voices already plugged in, and it can read it back to you. So that's what the free versions are. The premium versions are a little bit better quality, but then the plus versions, as you can see here, are all the ones that are really highlighted. They're really great quality. And the great thing that I love about this is you can come over here and, let me get rid of my my overlay here so you can see it better. You can choose this option to convert to MP3, and literally it will make a MP3 version of the narration. So you can take it with you. You can listen to stuff in the car as you're going. So for me, obviously, when you're trying to go through another pass of your manuscript or whatever, it's such a huge tool that allows you to listen to your work and catch things again that you wouldn't have. So again, we'll say this is rated M for military man-child. There's some profanity. The very first 3 words is profanity, but I'll at least play it for you guys now. That way you can hear this voice that I normally use is called Davis, and I've used 2 of them primarily because it's just the right sound that I like. But here you go. Here's a little clip.
Into. I skidded to a halt and dropped down onto my knee next to Trevor's body. My right hand reached down and grabbed the back of his body armor, and I vigorously shook him. Nothing. I gave him another forceful shake. His body rocked back and forth, but Trevor still refused to awaken. The gunfire cracked all around us as I yanked off my right-hand glove. I grabbed hold of his throat, trying to feel the jugular. My fingertips searched for a pulse, for any signs of life. For fuck's sake, Trev. Give me a fucking pulse. Come on, you stubborn fuck. I yelled inside my head as I was struggling to feel the beating of his heart. Just when I thought I might have felt it, I was struck on my left side by an incoming round. Shit! I belted out through gritted teeth. I scrunched down onto my left side, my body contorting from the crushing pain the round caused as it smashed into my dragon skin armor. I was thankful in that split second for Brian. He had devoted so much time towards crafting it, and it sure as fuck had paid off now. I bit down hard and reared back in pain as I gritted my teeth. It took everything inside me to withstand the storm of lead rounds peppering the rooftop and all around us. But I wasn't going to leave Trevor there, not now. Sasha would kill me herself if I abandoned him. I adjusted myself and inched my knee further ahead, now using my entire body to shield Trevor's head and neck. The incoming fire was becoming ever more accurate as they zeroed in on us. I adjusted my hand and fingertips just slightly, but still gently kept them clasped around his throat. I got it. I fucking got it. I cried out in relief as I finally felt it. I immediately let go of Trevor's throat as I grabbed hold of my rifle again with my right hand. I twisted my head and turned my attention to my left side and found the motherfucker who was getting dangerously close to our position. I squinted and saw that his eyes were zeroed in on us. He had just cleared the wall of the compound. The impact from his landing brought him down into a crouched position. He staggered as he started to stand back up and regain his footing. I saw his quadriceps clench and flare as he pushed off and sprang forward towards us. I raised my rifle up and steadied it. My eye watched as the crosshairs arrived directly over the bridge of his nose. My finger didn't hesitate as it closed down on the trigger and joyfully squeezed backwards. My adrenaline surged through me that I hardly felt the recoil of the rifle. The muzzle roared to life and spoke on behalf of my spirit as my eyes watched the red and pink mist surge into the air. The 7.62mm hammer round split the fucker's head apart like a watermelon. Before I had a chance to react, I watched another target come crashing down the wall at almost the same area as the first. He wasn't as lucky as his friend had been, though. I timed my breathe wrong, my round dropped low, but still hit the target. I watched as the hammer round obliterated the fucker's right knee. Shards of bone fragments and chunks of flesh erupted and launched in all directions. The target collapsed onto the ground and landed on his chest. The piece of shit didn't move right away, as my crosshairs hovered directly over his body. It was roughly only a few seconds, though, that I waited, but then saw his arms begin to move. He sprang back to life as he balled his fists and pounded the ground beneath him. He was close enough to our location that I could hear his throat fail him as he tried to scream out in agony. His leg had practically been severed off by my round. He started to arch his back upwards, and in a dazed and confused reality his mind was now trying to tell him he had a chance. I welcomed the recoil of the rifle as it thudded into the crux of my shoulder. A smile of delight on my face for the millisecond I had. My eye watched through my scope as my hammer round tore through his neck. The fucker's head fell forward and crashed back down onto the earth, lifeless. I instantly opened up my communication channel in my HUD to my remote assistant, Nate. Tell Tara that I am with B2. I have a pulse, but it is weak, and it seems to be fading. That was all I could get out as the front of the building exploded. I dove over Trevor's head and body, doing my best to protect my mate. My ears were now ringing in a high-pitched tone, and I couldn't hear the gunfire cracking all around us for the next few seconds.
All right, there you go, guys. So, Richie, I'm loving this, dude. I'm excited for the story, man. It's fun. I don't know. I enjoyed it, right? And hopefully you guys will enjoy it too. But that's where you can obviously see how powerful the tool can be to really get you engaged, get you, into the manuscript from a totally new point of view and perspective. And that's why the tool is really powerful, you guys. And it's really, again, some people could look at this like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. Why would you use it? This is AI technology. You know what? I've talked about this before on the channel. I've talked about this before on my streams. These things can be tools if you use them. You can abuse them, and you can do it in your own way. But for me, I see this as a tool, and it's a way to get me better as a writer. It's a way for me to see my errors and make the story better. So that's how I use it. And yeah. So Kionis, can you make the voice Morgan Freeman? No, you cannot. And see, that's where I don't know if I would have chosen that option, because I feel like unless Morgan Freeman allowed his voice to be used that way, I don't know if I would do that. But there's basically, a couple of different voices here. I want to say in the Plus version, it's like 20 or 30 different voices. This one, Davis, that I use is the one with the most like resonance and deep voice that I found. So that's the one that I like to use. But there was another one. I forget which one I used. I was listening to a different manuscript and doing some work, and so I chose a different voice for that. But yeah, so there you go, guys. There's for some young indie authors, the tool you do have to pay for. Like, there's a tier system that you can pay for. I believe there's a monthly and a yearly option. I chose the yearly, so that way, if I remember correctly, you can also put it on your phone. So, if that was another big thing for me, was when I go to the gym, I could do this in the gym. I could listen to it while I go for a run, a walk, whatever. But at the same time, the fact that you can export MP3 files, you literally can have this on your phone listening, even through like a VLC player or something like that. So that was where I just decided to go for it and do the investment of using the software. So Ryan Maxwell joining us. What's up, brother? Hey, it's another day. It's another day, man. We're almost wrapping it up. I don't really have a whole lot else to talk about. So there's that tool, you guys. Definitely, it's something where, it may not be for everyone. There may be some people who refuse to use it. Hey, that's fine. That's your decision. I feel like I at least can let you guys know of a tool that can help someone else out, because it's definitely helped me out. All right, so there is that. So again, for those of you new joining in, Patreon, Warrior Publishing, that is the new Patreon site that you can go and sign up for. It is live now. You'll have access to all of the Dying Breed series, books 1, 2, the unedited version of book 3, and 70,000 words unedited of book 4. And then Call Sign Bloodbath and Recover the Jackpot will be there very soon. So make sure you get into the tier you would like now before it gets registered up when we go on Royal Road. All right, some shout outs. Oh, let's save shout outs for last. I feel like shout outs should be last. So what were some thoughts for this week? I had one thought earlier this week, but for some reason, this phrase that I used in the military, it was in the last probably 1 or 2 years of the military where I used this, but it's just a very simple, don't give up, just get better. And, in my military career, there was a lot of uphill battles where I had to fight and try to earn everything that I achieved. The last couple of years, I was really trying hard to get a full-time position on the base that I was last serving at, and that didn't happen. And the entire time, I was just telling myself, don't give up, just get better. Don't give up, just get better. And it was one of those things of, we can get so discouraged, we can get so we can feel so defeated when we keep trying to achieve something and it doesn't happen. But the reality is just don't give up, because that's always the first thought in our head, right? Hey, this isn't for us. We should just give up. We should just go on. And our mind, I feel like, is telling us to look for the easy road. What's the easy answer to the problem? And for me, I can't remember exactly when I thought of that phrase, but that was something I told a lot of my troops, especially when they come to me to get counseling or just, needed an ear to hear about their problems or whatever. And I would just tell them, man, don't give up, just keep going. Or don't give up, just get better. Especially after they failed or, they didn't get a result that they wanted. Hey, man, don't give up, just get better. Learn from your lesson, learn from your mistake, learn from the error, whatever it was, learn from it and become better. That's all you can do. Thankfully, the military has a lot of grace and they have a lot of room to accept some of these things, because we know that greatness and growth come from failure. But I think when we're doing the independent route or doing the creative route, we can feel like our failures or our errors have a longer lasting effect. That's what I'm trying to get out. But the reality is you just can't give up. You just have to get better. Richie, you got a dip, but much love, brother. Thank you, dude. Can't wait to catch up soon. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Anytime, Richie. So that's been a thought in my head today, or this at the end of the week, was, that reminder of what I used to tell my troops. And sometimes we need to remind ourselves of that is don't give up, dude. Just get better. It will get better. And this is something when you're trying to write a story, when you're trying to do creative work, this is something that you love to do. This is a story you have enjoyed writing. This is a story that you feel others would enjoy writing. Then don't give up. Just get better in the craft and continue to press forward. It's always easier to give others grace than it is ourselves. At least I found that to be true in my own life. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Because this comes down to we're our own harshest critics. And we critique our work a lot harder. And especially when you have to go through the imposter syndrome effects. And when you yourself do not believe what you're telling others, right? Like, I am an author. And then inside of your head, you're like, are you really? So yeah, it's absolutely, that is 100% true. All right, but yeah, that was it, guys. Don't give up. Don't give up. Just get better. Just remind yourself of that as you're going through this process. One of the things with writing and with being an author, there's really the only thing that's holding you back is yourself. When I was talking to a fellow author many months ago, and that's what he said. He's like, TJ, when you're writing, this is all you. There's no supervisor above you. There's nothing else stopping you from becoming better. You literally get better the more you invest in the craft. So that's 100% truth right there. All right, and then some shout outs. Shout outs this week to Panda Cakes. Panda Cakes over on TikTok. He has been one of my followers on TikTok for a very short period of time, but he reached out to me. He saw one of my videos and he just said, hey man, what's the best way to support an indie author? And I said, well, you can do a direct sale where you buy it directly from me. I sign them, I put them in the mail. That's the best way to get revenue. But the other biggest thing is just word of mouth, man. Tell others, share it with your friends, that you found my work, that you like it. That's the best way to support. And he's like, oh, okay. And so I shared the link, and like 30 minutes later, he bought both book 1 and 2 of The Dying Breed. So, shout out to Panda Cakes, man, because that definitely was a huge amount of encouragement and support. So thanks, man. Other shout outs. Guys, it's been kind of a rough week. Had to say goodbye to a close friend, Mr. Hercules. But other than that, it's just another week, right? Another week of grinding. So thanks for those that tuned in. I don't think there's really a whole lot else unless there's something else you guys want to talk about. So I'll kind of wait here for a few seconds and let me know. Yeah, other than that, I'll be doing my live updates on Instagram and TikTok, and then I'll be back to doing revisions in Call Sign Bloodbath, because we're about 1/3 of the way through that, and I'm excited and I'm ready to get this thing out into the public so that you guys can enjoy it. So, all right, Ryan, much love, brother. We're here for you. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Same to you as well. So, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for being here. I wouldn't really be here if it wasn't for you guys, your support, your wanting to know the process and the updates. So there's that. But I'm going to call it here. That way I can actually get to the other platforms, and that way I can also get back to some writing and revisions. So thanks a lot, guys. We'll talk to you soon.